Hey, organizers, I'm back. Oh, that sounded like the TikTok sound from Gossip Girl. Miss me? I'm back. Anyway, if you're as TikToked as I am, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, that's not why you're here. You're here to learn about AI. It's day 3 of AI Palooza. And today I am excited because we are going into deep work and how you can use AI agents and do all sorts of other kind of next level things. I hope that the last 2 episodes have been good for you. I hope that you've been inspired. One of the things that I love is even as I was editing this, obviously I was there when we recorded it. But there are things that Kabri is talking about that I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a great idea. I need to do this. So I really hope that you have gotten some things out of this, and I'm excited to hear how you are using AI in your business. As with the last 2 days, if you go to proorganizerstudio.com/links, you'll be able to get the slides that we're talking about. You'll be able to get a video of us and lots of other things. So please just hit us up there and you can get all of the information. And then what I'm going to do is do a giant, I'm going to give you one great big, long one with all 3 parts put together if you want it all in one place. So you will have that too. So many things. It's like a gift, an electronic gift from me to you. All right. I hope that you love part 3. And great news, you do not have to open up your podcast app tomorrow and have me there. I will not be there tomorrow. So I want to give you a little break from me. All right, here we go. Let's talk about deep work. So you taught me about this because I did not know this existed. And it's using an AI agent to do like really in-depth work. So talk me through it.
Okay, I would definitely recommend going to the slides because there is some tutorial videos on kind of what that looks like at a quick glance. But essentially, AI agent is a mini virtual assistant. It's going to help you do things on the back end that are time consuming and maybe a little tedious. And so for us, that looks like maybe I'm trying to I think my example I used in the presentation is pulling a list of local influencers that we could use to pitch and partner with. You can use it for real estate agents. You can use it for anything that requires data entry, a lot of copy and paste, searching through websites. If I wanted to know every single organizer who has the Inspired Organizer badge on their website, I could ask my ChatGPT agent to actually scour websites for that and pull that information as far as, business name, email, website, whatever. And it would actually pull that information into a spreadsheet for me to then copy and paste, use however I wish. I originally heard about this AI agent from a podcast. There was a high-level exec. He was traveling using Airbnb. He was taking his family for these specific dates, but they had like 3 large dogs. And he did not want to go through Airbnb's website to find every single available house that was big enough that also had a backyard. And so he asked his AI agent to go through, pull that information. Here were the dates. This is the location. We need so many beds, and I want a backyard. And its agent was actually able to go through individual Airbnb listings to see which ones had photos of large backyards. And then it spit out this report for him and basically said, okay, here's your 5 Airbnbs. Pick which one you'd like so that you can book. So it's super helpful if it's something that you're going through and looking for information. I cannot speak highly enough of it. I use it very often.
Well, and I used it the other day for something, and again, go to the slides because you have an actual tutorial of how it works and you can watch it work. It's legitimately like watching someone take a cursor and like move it, but I used it the other day for something, and I kind of just out of fascination was watching it work. It was having to do something inside the system that I use to teach courses. And it was like, it was typing out what it was doing. It was like, I am looking for this. So I am going to move up here and maybe that's where it is. And so I could like watch the thought process, which was like alternately creepy and cool at the same time. But it legitimately was as if I had an assistant in the room that was working on the computer next to me. It was completely fascinating.
Yes. Okay, let's touch on that. Logistic wise, whenever you're using your agent, you give it a prompt. Essentially, what you're going to see is this like remote desktop window open up. And like Melissa said, you can kind of see how it's working, what it's going through occasionally. So I've used this in the past where I'm using it for something that has credentials or passwords that's blocked. And so specifically, I was trying to connect an email to a domain on Squarespace. And so I couldn't get it to work. And finally, I told, my chatty G, I was like, help me. I don't know how to fix this. And I turn the agent on. It starts working. It gets to Squarespace's login site. And it's like, whoa, this is private information. It needs password. It needs credentials. What do you want me to do? And so I actually then had the opportunity to take control of this remote desktop, log in with my username and password, and then hand control back over. And so once it was in Squarespace, it was like, oh, by the way, you need to add this code here, verify, done. Everything was taken care of. And so it is fabulous if you're having some of those techie issues that you just need a computer that understands computer to help you do it very quickly, much more quickly than I could have done on my own.
That was the exact same situation that I had where it, like, asked me for my logins a couple times, and you would press a button that says "Take back control" or whatever, and then you would enter the password, and then it would go back, and it was so great, and I got something really very complex done that would have taken me a long time to do, and it was glorious.
So AI agents are on the Plus plan. So $20 a month. I highly recommend it. It's worth every penny. You're going to get your time back, your money back in time. But it is, I think you get like, I don't know, 50 uses of agent per month. And so use them wisely. But I mean, I haven't ran out yet and I use it often.
Well, when you think about it, if you get 50 a month, are you really going to use it 2 times a day? Probably not, right? Like you could really use that judiciously. But this is one thing that we talked about a lot during the session, during the workshop at the How To Summit, is people were like, well, I just want to use the free version, which you absolutely can. And the free version of OpenAI, of ChatGPT, is still really, really good. We just were, and neither of us are ever going to be the kind of people that are like, hey, just go put a bunch of money in something. $20 a month. So $240 a year. It's essentially 3 hours of your time at organizing, pays for it. And it is $20 a month is just so absolutely worth it for the better service that you get. You get, more in-depth knowledge. You get to teach it a little bit more. You just get so much for that $20. I just don't think there's a better use of my money and my business.
1000% agree.
Canva, I should make a list. Like you've said, this is my favorite thing. I say this sometimes. I'm like, Canva, I would pay $100 a month for Canva. The fact that they only charge me, $13 a month or whatever it is criminal. Then Descript is also a good one, but ChatGPT for $20 a month, I mean, when I think about all the dumb things I spend $20 a month on, it's so smart.
So worth it.
Yeah, just please go spend the money. In the slides, obviously, this is an audio medium. It's going to be very hard for us to explain what we are showing on the screen right now. That's why we would love for you to go to I can't even say my own website, proorganizerstudio.com/links. We have a video example of this agent that you can see. And so Cabri goes through a prompt, and then it shows it working in the background just to give you an idea of what that agent is. So we will embed these on that site so that you can see what that looks like. It was much better in person. This was a lot easier one to do in person. Oh, let's talk about just one of the uses you talked about for the agent. You gave an example of there are 1,600 realtors in Lubbock. And you then could go say, I want to go search those realtors, get their, website, email address. You can also have it search for, like, for instance, the top 10% in terms of selling. That's publicly available information. So you could say, I need the top 10 realtors or top 10% of realtors in Lubbock by volume or revenue. So there are a lot of things you can do with that where it just does that thinking for you, and you do not have to search through 200 websites.
Yeah, that's actually like a real case study that we've done. We have a large percentage of our business that is just focused on moving services. And realtors and interior designers are huge network referrals for us. And we actually just used our AI agent to cull all that data, copy and paste it, throw it in a spreadsheet for us. And then that way we can email them, pitch to them, follow them on Facebook if we asked for, those URLs and links as well. And so it can be very powerful.
Yeah. The other thing too, I know that you like realtors. I'm a big fan of telling people to go after interior designers to network with. And so that would be another one. And interior designers in particular, I just think, doing a really good prompt on, what kind of aesthetic you're looking for in terms of partnering with an interior designer. But when you think about people that would be good to network with, this is a great use of agents within ChatGPT.
Okay, another cool thing that AI can do is you can create. So this is specifically talking about ChatGPT. I don't know if it's available for other AI platforms. I have heard other people talk about it in a way that makes me think that it exists. But essentially, what you're doing is creating a custom tool or a custom GPT through ChatGPT. And essentially, this custom GPT is going to operate as a recipe or a formula that other people then can come in and use. And so I specifically have designed one for my weekly brain dumps. I have a lot of ideas, a lot of things. I have ADHD. It just swirls around in my brain like a hot mess. And so about once a week, go through, I want to do a brain dump. And essentially I have designed this one to know my business and my life. And so it then asks me updates on certain things. But every single time I come to it, it's going to run me through the same exact recipe and formula on how to pull all that information out of my brain, how to get it sorted and organized, and how to make a plan of attack to accomplish it. You could essentially use this. Let's say you wanted to create a custom GPT for how to declutter your closet. You could then prompt everything here to where your clients click the link, they show up, and then it's like, okay, let's go through your closet. Have you worn it in a year? Pull it, donate it, or throw it away. And then you'll go through and say, okay, do you prefer color coding or do you like it by style? Here's how we do that. And it's essentially going to walk them through that. I see, and I'm just now telling Melissa this. I see a lot of opportunity with these custom GPTs when it comes to audits that we see. Like we're looking at a lot of organizers' websites. We're looking at a lot of organizers' social media. We're even auditing some of their like marketing plan when it comes to, are you blogging? Are you emailing? Are you posting on Google Business Profile? We could essentially set up this master formula that would have organizers come through and say, okay, here's what I'm seeing that you're doing. Here's the things that you're not doing. Here's how I would move forward and go forth to accomplish these things. And so it's just a way to give people a customized look at your process, your framework, your formulas, and actually get a piece of you at a very small, easy accessibility. I think that you could offer this as even like a lead magnet or freebie on, hey, here's my organizing guide on, here's how to do this. And I think that people would happily give their email over to get a peek behind the curtain, use some cool new technology, and hopefully, ideally, work with you in the long run.
So how do you actually set this up? What's the actual structure? How do you do it?
Okay, so when you're in ChatGPT, you just go over, there's a drop down that says GPTs. You can click on it and say new project. And essentially it will kick off essentially the first phase of what you're trying to do. And so it'll ask you questions on, we're going to use the brain dump guide as my example. Is this a brain dump specifically for you? Or is this a brain dump on how to teach other people how to brain dump? And so mine right now is set up for me. So whenever I come through each Monday morning, it knows exactly what to do. I could set it up for everyone to where it's like, okay, step 1 is tell me your name, your business, your website. Here are your social media links. Part 2 is, okay, let's brain dump. Here are some things you could go. I mean, the one time that I did it with client information, it was massive. It was insane. But you would essentially pull all of that information and then it takes you to the next step. You can also make it kind of flow like a flow chart. So if it's giving you information or asking you information, and as you give information back to it, say, okay, so we haven't set up our Google Business Profile. We need to start there before we can actually start posting updates.
Yeah.
And so
I could make a GPT that tells you the 6 digital foundation things that I want you to do and how to do them. And then if I could then also get it to yell at people who say, I don't have clients, but they haven't done any of the 6 things. Is that an option that's available or no?
It is an option. I really think, okay, so like for me, the power in this is taking a framework and a system and giving it access to other people to where then they can see it and use it. And so like what would take us hours if we were going through and manually auditing organizer websites, we essentially could put some key formulas within a GPT and then have people run their own audits on the website. And then it would also kick back a very succinct summary of like, oh, hey, you should probably do this. And we need some more keywords here. and this is a readable font, and you're missing buttons here. It would save us time. It would still serve the organizer. And so it could be a powerful tool. I'm jumping around with my analogies because this thing is more bigger, like more massive than you could possibly even understand on what it's capable of doing.
I just love how you just said this is more bigger. I love it. I love it. Keep it
You can
coming.
edit that out if you'd like.
Well, or maybe I'll keep it in. TBD.
Words are hard, okay, friends.
It's been a long day. Listen, to be fair, let's just be full disclosure. You and I have both had a very long day in two different places. It is 7:14 p.m. We both still have work in front of us, and the words are not coming to our brains as efficiently as they maybe can at other times.
I'm just trying to remind everybody that no one's perfect.
Oh, please. So far from it. Okay. You know, I'm a little bit of an evangelist about SEO. It's so important, and it is the way that people in our business find clients. But there's a new thing, unfortunately. Listen, this is the problem. When you have something that you start to understand or that you hear about a lot, the one thing that we are guaranteed is that there's going to be something new. Like, for instance, if you're a big Instagram person, which I am not, you kind of learn the algorithm and then they're like, JK, here's the new one. You got to learn something new. So the new thing on the block for SEO is actually GEO, which is Generative Engine Optimization. And GEO is going to be increasingly important. So what is GEO? So remember at the way beginning of this chat, we talked about how when you go to Google now, it will come up with, hey, here's the AI synopsis of this question that you have just asked. GEO is basically the thing that allows all of these AI bots to figure out what is happening and how they can make good suggestions. So a lot of us now are starting to get people telling us that ChatGPT told them they should hire us as organizers. I've had it happen. Capri's had it happen. We asked in the session, a lot of people have started to have this happen where ChatGPT says, hire XYZ person. That is GEO. So the great news is if you've been around a while and you've been doing SEO work, you have a much higher chance of being ranked well on GEO, but there are some very specific parts of GEO, and that's for another podcast on another day. But I want you to at least start hearing that word and understanding it and knowing that that is a part of that you have to start doing on your website. So one example would be, we're probably going to give you some guidance eventually on, because blogging is so important, you might have to write one blog that's optimized for SEO and one blog that's optimized for GEO if you want to get really good at this. And there are some nuances to it. So we don't have time to teach it to you today, but we want you to be aware that this is out there. So when you start to see it, you're not like, wait, what is that now? So what have you seen so far? I mean, you're a big SEO person. What have you seen so far about GEO in your business, or have you?
So one of the cool things that I think is really encouraging when it comes to GEO is it almost levels the playing field in a way. If you're doing really good on the SEO front, you're automatically going to do really well on the GEO front, but you're essentially looking at different numbers, different metrics. And so SEO, you want to be targeting keywords, you want to be targeting geographic locations. It's also looking for newness, but not the same way that GEO is. And so we're seeing a lot more on the GEO side, just running tests. And I'm using different industries, I'm using different locations, but essentially somebody who is brand new to the industry but is updating their website often or updating their Google business profile often, they are actually ranking higher on GEO versus SEO. And so it's kind of interesting how they correlate in different ways. You do have some of the people who are ranking high on both, and that's great. That's fabulous. But you also have some people who are doing cool things. Like I found one, it was actually an HVAC company in Oklahoma, and they do a lot on TikTok, and GEO registered all of their engagement through TikTok, so that whenever I was asking these questions on, who's the best HVAC company in Oklahoma City, came up as the number one generated search that ChatGPT gave me, just because of the engagement, number of likes, number of comments, all the stuff that they're getting on TikTok. And so it's really encouraging for new organizers who maybe don't have that longer runway when it comes to a website, blogs, SEO, those things that help and take time to grow and build. It actually gives them a little bit of a foot in the playing field. So it's exciting.
This is another plug, though, where, I did a podcast a while ago about Pinterest. And, Pinterest is not just for picking a good paint color. It is also a place that you can, while it may not generate specific business, it generates some of those backlinks, it generates some of that traffic, or it will generate authenticity for your business in a different way. And so that's another good example of, and by the way, I have simple ways that you can go post on Pinterest. You don't have to do a lot of work, but those are all examples of things that, the internet is giving us a lot of different ways that we can be found. And GEO, I think, is going to be a huge part of that. And it's an interesting like growth for our business. And that's a great point, is you don't have to be a super established organizer. There are lots of different ways that you can get found.
Can I add one more note?
Please do, because I would just and not making a lot of sense.
Well, okay, SEO ties heavily to specific websites. Occasionally, like you do see like individual pins or individual blogs that have ranking capabilities within them. GEO is looking at things from kind of a wider lens. So they're pulling overall engagement on social media. They're looking at who's recommended on Reddit. They're looking at different things on YouTube. They're almost pulling kind of like behind the scenes data that normal SEO or traditional SEO doesn't look for. And so again, it kind of ties into that, like it's new, it's different. It may change over time, but that's kind of what it's looking like right this minute. It's still super encouraging for someone getting started. And regardless if you are a brand new organizer or a veteran organizer, this is one of those things that you're going to have to learn it and you're going to have to stay on top of it.
For sure. Well, the other thing too is a really quick thing that you can do is go check and see, ask ChatGPT, hey, recommend a professional organizer in blah, blah, blah area, and just see what comes up. You might be pleasantly surprised and you might go, oof, I got a little bit of work I need to do. Okay, we have covered a lot. I feel like I want to check in on everybody and make sure, how are our brains? Are we doing okay? I know that we just gave you a lot, but if nothing else, if you feel a little bit overwhelmed by the things that we have just told you, again, the biggest thing I want you to remember is you have a tool out there. You do not have to go to the college level of establishing your own GPT. You can just start at the beginning with a very, very simple prompt. Just go to openai.com. OpenAI.com? Yeah. Open up OpenAI, click the button, open a chat session, and just ask a simple question. Start to learn it. Start to see what it does. At the very least, just say, this is my business's website. This is my Instagram. This is a little bit about what I do. This is my ideal client. Start to ask those questions, start to use it, and I think your brain is going to be opened. And I think before too long, you're probably going to end up being better at this than you and I are.
That would be my goal. I would love to straight like Mr. Miyagi that and someone comes and teaches me cool things.
Absolutely. So also, this is a good opening. Just like we did in our session, we're not the experts on this by any stretch. If you have a cool way that you are using ChatGPT in your organizing business, if you have something like really groundbreaking that we didn't talk about, please email me, hello@proorganizerstudio.com. If you want to come on the podcast and tell us about the cool things you're doing, please pitch me. I would love to have that conversation with you. And let's get out and help all of our fellow organizers get better at our businesses. So I would love you to go to proorganizerstudio.com/links. We are going to have a ton of stuff there. You get my presentation from the How To Summit, my main stage. Then you're going to get this AI presentation and a bunch of other stuff. So I would absolutely love for you guys to go there. Is there anything that we have missed, Capri?
I don't think so. I'm just really excited. We always get a lot of good feedback with conversations and topics like this. And I'm curious to see how people are using AI, how they get started with it, if it's, a little scary and unfamiliar to them. And definitely those experts out there that I know exist that are like, oh, hey, you should be using it for this. Like, tell us all the things.
I was laughing because I think I already told this story, but I went out to dinner with Brandy and Ryan on the day that we did our workshops, and they were like, oh, how'd your workshop go? And I'm like, oh, I think it went really well, and they're like, oh, did you get good feedback? And I'm like, well, yeah, to our face. I was like, I don't know what people said behind our backs, but everyone was really nice and everybody felt, I mean, I left, each session going like everyone seemed energized and excited. And so I just think about like the inspired organizer people that were in the room and like the things they've done already with it. I just have this vision of like everybody that came to the How to Summit that was in our workshop. Like, did they use it for cool stuff this week? I hope they did.
Oh, I'm confident they did. That's a
I
go.
did. I did. Well, listen, you guys, we really went on a journey there, didn't we? 3 days, 1,000 miles, a lot of AI talk. I really hope that this was helpful. Again, please go to proorganizerstudio.com/links for all the stuff. And then I will just put in, if you're still here with me, the tiniest plug. Our Inspired Organizer program is closing enrollment for the rest of 2025 and a little bit of 2026. Also, we're going to be making a ton of changes, and I would love for you to get in. So it is closing on November 11th, which is a Tuesday, so 11/11. And I would love to have you in before that. So all of the details, if you want to know more information about what our Inspired Organizer program is, why it's wonderful, all those things, then please hit up proorganizerstudio.com/links. You guys, I really appreciate you. And I appreciate you being here listening. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day.